Good morning! So, on to another podcast episode, chapter, what have you. Let's talk job hopping, you guys. Let's just put it out there and talk about it. With me, in my career history, it's definitely been that elephant in the room that everyone's looking at, nobody's really talking about, and they're talking less and less about it lately. So is there a reason behind that? I believe yes. And due to some articles that I have been reading online, including the one by Forbes, I believe is in 2016, and it says, Millennials, stop apologizing for job hopping. Or should we? Question mark. Now, it's funny to me because I don't see a problem with job hopping besides the fact of broken relationships. But if they truly were relationships, they would keep on going even after you left the establishment. So when it comes to job hopping, it's kind of like it appears that the older generations, maybe baby boomers, things like that, very much think that there is a lack of loyalty involved when an employee hops around or leaves the company. And if they do it once a year, they're habitually a problem at this. Sure. Sometimes does it seem that these establishments that are mostly ran by, again, baby boomers, no offense to y'all, we love y'all, we love you. But it seems like the ones that are ran by the older generations, meaning when I say older than the Gen Y and millennial generation, that this is still fuming and full of steam, at least in Iowa, at least here in the Midwest. Now, the reason being is because a lot of, the older generations, they didn't have access to all types of different jobs and search engines. I mean, there's Indeed, there's tons. Job Recruiter, ZipRecruiter, everything. If there's a name that could be employment, hire me, something like that, some motherfucker has turned it into some type of search engine online where people can go and click links and even upload a simple, quick version of their resume within 5 minutes. 5 minutes or less. And if they're already a part of this search engine, a lot of times they're sending them tons of emails constantly about these different jobs. So we're completely tapped into that and tuned in, right? So this has been pretty much available. I'm 30, so pretty much available to my generation for a huge portion of our working careers, right? So when we have that available, and it's always available, and it is super easy just to jump onto the next job, especially when people are, reaching out to you. You put that on top of social media and platforms, like LinkedIn and things like that. You put all of that, the emails, the opportunity, the personal branding, and the connections, and then also the networking on different social media platforms where people are used to seeing your name and used to seeing how driven you are and what you're about and the influence that you have. People want to tap into that as well. So if we're tapped in and people are tapped into us, what's to say and who's to say that it's, really, really hard to leave an establishment, especially if it's not a good culture fit or a good corporate culture fit for the employee and the employer. So this is the type of conversation that I feel like it is missing when it comes to discussing workplace harmony and workplace balance and all of these things. That's what I love about, the internet and being able to see truly what the rest of the world, not just nation, the world, and not just the state, but the world, right? And what they think about job hopping. And a lot of people in my area And I'm speaking from personal experience. They talk about it as if it's a big downfall. Well, we can't trust you if you're always leaving. And we can't this and we can't that. And they want to know what happened. And I get it. And I have no problem going into and diving right into what happened. But I feel like that's the biggest, like I said, disconnect as far as the whole entire enchilada is that's the part that's missing. That's the secret recipe, is the whole give a fuck factor about the individual themselves. And a lot of companies, and I think it's great, and I'm speaking from an automotive type of industry perspective from what I've seen. I'm not talking about cosmetology. I'm not talking about, the medical field. I'm not talking about oil and gas. And maybe it's true with those too. But I know here in the Midwest, in the auto world, people are jumping in and out of dealerships all the time. It's very common. That is something that is to be expected. There's not a lot of healing there. Nobody really talks, from what I'm hearing, about the healing. So when someone loves what they do, but the problem is it's a bad corporate culture fit, how do we solve that problem? Do we put a bunch of advertisements out everywhere just saying how we're tuned into the people and how we want to help you grow your own career, and we stop there and it looks really nice and it sounds really nice and we throw our people in the commercials and shit so it's believable? Or do we really truly find out what the problem is and why people are so quick to job hop, especially in the automotive industry here in the Midwest? So as far as the disconnect and as far as finding the solution to the problem, I ain't finna sit here and say that I have just a pocket full of solutions. You know what I mean? I don't. I'm one person. It's way bigger than me. But what I do know is that when people really are for the people and they put the people, all those things, put the people back in HR. Yeah, when they really put the people back into the system and pull out the process, due to fear that these people are going to just change everyone's thinking, they should flourish, those types of employees. And when they see that they have a leader on that level and that can gain a positive influence and that is trying to, do right by people and they don't have any ill will, it's just that maybe we don't see eye to eye and they're kind of radical. They're kind of out there. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's sitting with their hands crossed and they're doing backflips and doing the cha-cha slide with customers and shit. But if the experience is bigger than the disconnect, if the experience and the outcome from the customer is bigger than the disagreement, then there's something that needs to be tapped into. So that's when I think employers need to be more advantageous as far as tapping the fuck into their people, right? And not just the process and getting people to fall in line. Because real leaders don't fall in line. It's not saying, real leaders don't follow the rules. I'm a habitual rule bender. I don't break a lot of rules, but I'll bend the motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Just because some of them are outrageous and some of them are one size fits all, and I'm a 5'3.5" girl with thick thighs and hips and a small waist type thing. So I'm not the one size fits all type of female. And most people are not the one size fits all type of people. So when you have an establishment that is supposed to be serving the people and you need loyal people who truly have that give a fuck, that get excited to wake up in the morning and you're part of that excitement, you're connected to that because they work for you and you benefit from it and your name's attached to it in some way, shape, or form, you've got to put the people back into the system and pull out some of the processes because we're not one size fits all. This is not a one size fits all type of culture. Millennial and Gen Y, I do not believe we're one size fits all. We're more like, hey, I looked online. I can have it custom made by hitting 3 buttons. And also I can bedazzle the top and get it 2 inches off the bottom there and then have it shipped to me. And if it doesn't fit right within the first 24 hours, I can send it back and get all my money back too. And maybe a free fucking sticker. That's why the processes have to come out of the system for Gen Y and Millennials. That's why. People have to make sense of our surroundings and the way that we've grown up. And they're still trying to keep us part of the old world type of establishment in the workplace of just fall in line, motherfucker, put your head down, do the work hard, shut up, go on break. Oh, wait, you don't get a lunch break. And then go home, go to sleep, stay late, come in on your day off, and then start all over again. Thank you. Oh, wait, shocker, your check's wrong. And then we have to have uncomfortable conversations a couple times to get the fucking pay right. But you're a woman and you're too mouthy, so please sit down. You know, we're not a one-size-fits-all type of community. So your one-size-fits-all type of establishment isn't going to rock right and as blessed as it could be until you get in line, until you get it together. But, you know, some people will and some people won't. And the beautiful part about it is that, again, being tapped in, all we have to do is take 1, 2, 3 clicks and be tapped right back in and start all the freak over again. And that's the beautiful part about it. And also, it's so fun. And what a cool opportunity, right? What does Denzel say? Fall down 7 times, get up 8. Fall down 6 times, get up 7. Whatever it is that he says. Think about it literally almost every day, and I don't even know exactly word for word what he says. But what matters is that the point that drives home for me is that you just get up, you dust it off. That's me dusting off my leg. And you start all over again. So when you talk about pulling out the positives in any given situation, some people think it sounds really corny and they're like, oh, yeah, easier said than done. Yeah, okay. Fuck, how much coffee have you had? Ooh, I wish I drank what you had a drink. Oh, I wish I had your life. Oh, I wish I woke up and thought like that. The truth is, you can think like that. You literally have to force yourself to think like that. And eventually, you end up thinking like that. And you really do become grateful. And you really do end up looking at most situations, the good, the bad, the in-between, the kind of attractive situations, the ooh, I'm not sure situations, all of life's little situations, you can choose to pull the positive out of it. You pull the positive stuff out of it, and you end up getting the positive stuff sitting right in your hands. It's that simple. And it happens all the time. At least for me, it happens all the time. And again, this is not like some self-help book that I read, and so I'm on this mission of positivity, and it's all just peaches and cream and butterflies and glitter and all that shit. It's not for a few hours after something bad happens, but eventually you start seeing little butterflies flying around outside. You start noticing a little extra flare on someone's jacket. Ooh, that looks good. A little sparkly, makes you smile. A funny saying that someone has on their shirt at the gas station. When you're looking for the positives that you can pull out, you'll find them every time. And that's what I found. And that's what I continue to do. And that's what I continue to live by. Because life will throw some shit at you. Boy, let me tell you. Ooh, she will. And they'll just be like, ooh, let's see what they're made of. Let's see what else kind of shit we can do to them. And if you're right there, you know, willing and ready to take the hits, to get to the other side and to progress and grow, they're right for you to fall into. But it's what you do with them and what you learn from it. That is what matters. So again, when it comes to job hopping, you don't have to feel bad for it. Sometimes it's just that you're constantly on a mission to find your purpose. A lot of us, that's it. The purpose. When you're finding your purpose and on the mission to do so, Oprah style, you don't look at it as a bad thing because you know that your time's coming. You know that it'll be the right fit as long as you mean well. So have a great day, y'all. Smile.